Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I am at the Senior Center in downtown Pittsfield on North Street, and this time I'm with our at-large City Councilor, Earl Persip, and Earl is also the City Council Vice President. Earl, thanks for taking the time to do this again.
Thank you for doing it for us.
Yes, Earl was one of the the interviews I did where it was taken over by hundreds of birds. So, Earl, this is what I think your fourth.
I'm finishing up my fourth term, so the next term will be my fifth term.
Okay.
If elected. Yep.
So these elections are kind of something I'm sure you've gotten used to by now.
Used to, but I think every year is a little different. I think I mentioned last time we spoke is like this year's election seems like there's not a lot of publicity behind it. So I thanked you for doing these kind of things because I don't think we're doing as many debates as we used to do. It's just really not getting out as much as we needed. So things like this are great. So that's the big difference I see in this election.
Yeah, it's very low key and not that you want nastiness, but there's not even the whole political thing that you're used to seeing.
And the way the at-large debate is, it's more of a conversation, really not a debate. The wards are a little back and forth, which helps people. But, when you have, 6-7 people running in one seat, to have them go back and forth, it just doesn't work as well as when it's one-on-one, right? So
yeah, I mean, it didn't. I did a video and I was talking about that, and they're boring like that. It's hard to get people. I can see why they don't want to watch, because you could get a lot more out of a 5-minute conversation.
Agreed. Yep, I agree.
So that being said, what are some of the issues you're hearing this year? Is it the same as always, or is there anything new?
No, I think the core issues of people want their streets paved. They want speed bumps. They don't want speed bumps, or plowing. All those things are kind of all the same. The big topic issues like downtown's gone through its things of what people are mad about. So that's always been an issue. But like the homeless issue has come up, or the unhoused issue has come up kind of more frequently lately. We had the school drama last year and continuing on. So those things are kind of new, but the core business of what we do daily, which you don't see on TV, is helping people solve issues within their neighborhoods. So,
and speaking of the schools, I mean, you were, as a counselor, you were pretty outspoken, and at times I felt like you were one of the only ones to an extent.
At times I felt like I was the only one that wanted to hold people accountable for the actions they took, and leadership and accountability is a big thing for me, and I think those two are very important. We can disagree on issues back and forth, but when it comes to accountability and being a leader, I think it's important. And I think some people within the school district and the school committee weren't that for us, like we needed them to be honest.
I agree, totally. And, like with that, we'll call it a debate because that's what they called it, but that question and answer forum at BCC, one of the things, there was a couple things that did catch my attention, and I think would have caught in anybody watching, is when you just came out and said, Holmes Road, the jump.
It's atrocious. Let's be honest. Like, I'm not going to sit here like some people and sugarcoat things. If something's bad, I'm going to say it's bad. You're always going to get that from me. I'm always going to be honest about that. It's bad. I mean, I work in Lenox. They have raised crosswalks, because that's what technically it is. It's technically a raised crosswalk. They're not even close to anything like that thing. That thing is terrible. It needs to go. It needs to be it's supposed to slow you down, and you're supposed to be able to go the speed limit of that road. You can't do that. And I don't care what anybody tells me. I do it almost every day. You can't do it. So things like that, you have to just call out, because when they're bad, they're bad. And as one counselor, you can't do it by yourself. You have to get others involved. And so, I call things out as they are. That's just me.
That one I totally agree with also, because I hit that doing 25, which is the speed limit, and I bottomed out.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, I am one that will give you my honest opinion. Doesn't mean you have to agree with my opinion. I'm just going to give you mine. And we can go back and forth, and we can agree to disagree, and we can do that as residents of Pittsfield, because those kind of conversations are what makes things actually work and change. I am not one to say I know everything and I'm always right. I'm one to say, hey, I'm here to listen. Change my mind, please. I know I'm not always right? So that's how I approach doing this job, and it's worked out for me very well so far. being that way.
Okay. Now, if elected for a 5th term, is there anything that you feel you want to address or bring to the council this term, or is it just...
I think one of the things I've been working on this past term, and I know people at home probably like, well, I don't see, is getting really the Public Works Department in order, because I think we have a lot of supervisors who are very green at their job, and they need some more guidance and calling those things out, like we were talking about, when designs are bad. And, you know, part of West Street I like. Let's talk about something currently. Part of West Street I like, right in front of St. Mark's Church. I think it's too narrow coming off Euclid there. I think things like that, addressing things like that, are things I always do, and those are the things I want to do. I want to help the downtown businesses deal with some of the issues they're doing with, but I also want to do it with compassion, right? I talked about that at the debate. We can hold people accountable. We can be compassionate. We can kind of do those two things at once. We can follow the rules and the regulations we already have. So just being the common sense counselor, that's what I try to do, and don't let the noise get in the way of making a good decision.
And I think, we talked about this in our first run interview with the birds.
Yeah.
Is the camping ban ordinance,
yeah.
The reason that's really was applied is because of specific parks, which is Persip Park, Satilli Park, and Park Square.
Yeah, because they're not technically parks, so that our camping ban in parks doesn't include those on North Street. So it was a way to address those kind of issues. One of my children are at daycare on North Street at the Y. I'm here twice a day. I see what's going on in those parks. We do have to address it. They're not welcoming. If you're walking by, no one walking by on North Street is going to go into one of these parks when you see some of the activity that's going on, and we need a way to address the activity. That's how I see it. So,
but I think a lot of people weren't clear on that it was because they said, well, it's already you can't camp in parks.
I don't think we presented that in a clear way at council. I don't think it was kind of brought up. I think those meetings were very public debate more than anything when it took so long for everyone to come up and speak. So that kind of overshadowed everything. We weren't good at communicating that out to the public, I don't think.
Okay. And in closing then, for people who want to support you this run, host a sign or hold a sign or anything like that, what's the best way to reach out to you?
My phone number and email are on the city website, but if I have a Facebook page, Persip for Pittsfield, you can reach me there. And my email for my campaign is persipforpittsfield@gmail.com.
Earl, I can't thank you enough for doing this again.
Thank you.
And, round 2, but so I really appreciate you taking your time out of your lunch to come do this.
Absolutely. I think, like I said the last time, what you do for us and the residents of Pittsfield doing these interviews is super important. So I thank you.
Awesome. Thank you again, Earl, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right.